This briefing mainly includes the following content. 1. Senator J.D. Vance made some controversial remarks on the Joe Rogan Experience, criticizing the madness of gender transition, belittling women who celebrate abortion, and suggesting that young men's conservative political leanings are related to testosterone levels. These comments have sparked widespread attention. 2. After Tesla CEO Elon Musk acquired Twitter, the platform's content has become increasingly politicized, reflecting Musk's own preferences and positions. Musk has not only invested heavily in support of Trump's campaign but has also attempted to influence public opinion through various means. This stands in stark contrast to his previous commitment to remain politically neutral. 3. Federal Reserve officials cut interest rates for the first time in 4 years in September, but the extent and pace of future cuts remain uncertain. Despite a slowdown in inflation, strong employment data may still influence the Fed's policy direction. Overall, this briefing covers hot topics across various fields such as politics and economics, highlighting the latest developments and controversies surrounding relevant figures and institutions. Through concise summaries, it provides readers with comprehensive and in-depth information. Crisis at the Washington Post. The Washington Post has recently encountered a significant crisis. The newspaper's decision to no longer endorse presidential candidates ahead of the 2024 election has sparked considerable controversy. Reports indicate that the Washington Post has lost 250,000 subscriptions following this decision, accounting for 10% of its total subscriptions. This has severely impacted the newspaper's financial status. Internal staff have also expressed strong dissatisfaction, with some editors resigning in protest. Jeff Bezos, the owner of the Washington Post, attempted to defend this decision in an editorial, claiming it was to avoid bias against the newspaper. However, employees and readers generally believe it is motivated by business considerations, fearing retaliation from the Trump administration if they support Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. This incident exposes the Washington Post's predicament in the Trump era. Once viewed as a vital force in defending democracy, the paper ultimately failed to maintain its independence and credibility. This crisis has also prompted widespread reflection on the credibility of mainstream media. In summary, the Washington Post's decision has not only resulted in significant financial losses, but has also severely damaged the newspaper's reputation and credibility. This crisis highlights the challenges mainstream media face in maintaining independence and credibility during extraordinary times. Insufficient relevant content to generate a news broadcast script. Financial market dynamics, briefing ahead of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Summary. Investors are increasing their bets, expecting next week's U.S. presidential election to trigger significant price volatility in the bond and currency markets. Indices measuring volatility in the dollar against other major currencies and stock markets have risen, reflecting market concerns over this intense competition. The outcome between Republican candidate Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris remains uncertain, with a greater impact than the escalating situation in the Middle East or a slowdown in Fed rate hikes. Investors generally expect that regardless of who wins, market volatility will quickly settle after the election results are announced. However, if the results are contested, turmoil may persist for a longer duration. Overall, the impact of the U.S. election results on financial markets surpasses other economic and geopolitical factors, with investors closely monitoring this intense competition. Once the election results are finalized, the market is expected to stabilize quickly, but if disputes arise, the turmoil may last longer. Briefing. 1. One of the largest parishes of the Church of England has apologized to a church accused of abusing its followers for participating in a peaceful interfaith walk. The church has been accused of pressuring followers to donate and claiming mental health issues are caused by demons. 2. 21-year-old player Jacob Bethel from Warwickshire, England, has been selected for the England men's test team to participate in the upcoming 3-test series against New Zealand. He performed exceptionally well in one-day and T20 international matches against Australia this summer. 3. The emerging older women exploitation film genre reflects societal anxieties about aging and women's bodies. These films, directed by female filmmakers, attempt to reshape the genre but still contain elements of gender discrimination. 4. Former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will exit the political stage, having had a very brief political career, but he will be remembered as the first Hindu Prime Minister of the UK and a Prime Minister from a wealthy family. He led the Conservative Party to a disastrous defeat in the 2024 election, which may be another aspect of his legacy. Overall, these articles cover news across various fields such as religion, sports, film, and politics, reflecting some of the current hot issues and changes in British society. November 1, 2024 Briefing. Theme: The stories behind the news. This briefing synthesizes content from a series of articles in The Times, summarizing the following key points. 1. Behind news reports often lie many untold stories, including life-threatening situations faced by journalists, legal disputes, and the arduous process of uncovering the truth. These stories are often more compelling than the news reports themselves. 2. The Times and Sunday Times have been committed to fearlessly reporting the truth, even at a high cost. These independently produced shorts showcase the dedication, struggles, and courage of journalists. 3. In USC campus football coverage, young receiver Makai Lemon, stepping in for the injured Zachariah Branch, exploded in last week's game, becoming a new star for USC's offense. Additionally, USC's young defensive players also performed excellently in critical moments. 4. USC men's basketball defeated the 6th-ranked Gonzaga in a preseason game, boosting confidence for the new season. Overall, these articles highlight the stories behind news reporting, showcasing the professionalism and courage of journalists, while also reporting on the latest developments in USC campus sports. This content provides readers with a comprehensive and vivid perspective on the news. Due to the wide range of topics covered in the provided articles, a complete summary cannot be fully encapsulated. However, based on some key information points from the articles, I have attempted to draft a briefing. Briefing: Exploring Uncharted Corners. In this age of information overload, people may feel that there are no unexplored corners left on Earth. However, this is not the case. There are still some little-known secret realms on this planet, boasting stunning natural landscapes and unique charms. These secret realms are often located in remote mountains, vast oceans, or magnificent national parks. Even in such deep wilderness, one can find luxurious hotels and resorts that provide comfortable accommodation experiences for visitors. This practice of placing high-end facilities within pristine nature offers a unique charm that combines adventure with luxury. Additionally, the article mentions stories of football players who are searching for their most suitable positions and ways to perform, receiving strong support and trust from their coaches. These stories also inspire the idea of being brave to try, not being limited by preconceived labels, but rather unleashing one's potential and finding the most suitable path for personal development. In summary, these articles convey a common theme: in a world that seems fully developed, there are still many unknown areas worth exploring, whether in natural landscapes or personal growth, all of which deserve our discovery and pursuit. November 1, 2024 Briefing. 1. Severe flooding in Spain causes major damage. On October 29, a sudden mud flood of up to 2 meters struck a city in the southern suburbs of Valencia, Spain, resulting in at least 62 deaths. The disaster caused immense destruction, with many residents swept away, crushed, or drowned. Nevertheless, survivors showed courage in helping each other, preventing the death toll from rising further. 2. Botswana president acknowledges election defeat. On November 1, Botswana President Mokgweetsi Masisi acknowledged that his party, the Botswana Democratic Party, lost in the October 30 elections, transferring power to the opposition coalition Umbrella for Democratic Change. This marks the first political party transition in Botswana since gaining independence, nearly 60 years ago. The new government will need to work on reducing reliance on diamonds, stabilizing the economy, and creating jobs. 3. Controversial remarks by U.S. presidential candidates. Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris criticized Republican presidential candidate Trump for his recent remarks, arguing that he disrespects women's rights and autonomy. Trump claimed he wants to protect women, regardless of their agreement. This sparked controversy, with Harris stating that it reflects Trump's attitude toward women. Overall, these news items cover various fields such as natural disasters, political changes, and candidate remarks, reflecting the complex situation in the world today. The briefing highlights the most valuable information points and provides a concise summary of the content. Spain hit by severe rainfall. On November 1, 2024, Spain experienced widespread rainfall and severe flooding due to the impact of a cold low-pressure, Gota Fria, weather system. Key details include: 1. The Valencia region and western Andalusia were the hardest hit, with multiple areas issuing red and orange alerts. Many roads were blocked, and high-speed rail and urban rail services were interrupted. 2. As of November 1, 155 deaths have been reported, with 3 more fatalities in Castilla-La Mancha and Andalusia. Many people remain missing and may be trapped in apartments, garages, and cars on the streets. 3. Defense Minister Robles stated that this is an unprecedented cold low-pressure event, severely hampering rescue efforts. The military has dispatched 1,700 soldiers to assist in rescue operations and will further increase personnel. 4. The Valencia regional government announced a €2.5 million relief plan, including direct assistance of €6,000 for each victim. 5. Meteorological agencies warned that heavy rainfall and flooding will continue through the weekend, urging the public to remain vigilant. This new generation of cold low-pressure systems has surprised meteorologists. In summary, this rain disaster has caused significant losses in Spain, and rescue efforts are ongoing. The government is fully engaged in responding to this unprecedented natural disaster. Briefing: The Washington Post's decision to discontinue endorsements sparks controversy. The Washington Post recently announced that it will no longer endorse presidential candidates, a decision that has sparked widespread controversy. Key points include: 1. William Lewis, publisher and CEO of The Washington Post, stated that they aim to return to the tradition of not endorsing presidential candidates. This decision immediately provoked strong reactions. 2. Former executive editor Marty Baron described it as a cowardly act that comes at a cost to democracy. Notable columnist Robert Kagan also resigned in protest. 3. Critics argue that this decision is related to the interests of billionaire owners like Bezos and son Jinping, reflecting the decline of democracy under oligarchic rule. 4. Meanwhile, Trump is attempting to question the fairness of the 2024 election, accusing Democrats of widespread fraud. This has raised concerns about Trump and his allies. Overall, The Washington Post's decision has sparked extensive discussions about media independence and the health of democracy. This controversy reflects the complexity of the current political landscape in the United States. Briefing: Italy's new government's offshore asylum center sparks controversy. Main content: 1. Italy's new government has introduced a new immigration policy that transfers some asylum seekers to an offshore center in Albania for processing. This is the first such attempt in Europe. 2. The plan is only for healthy male migrants from 19 countries deemed safe by Italy. They will be sent to the village of Jadar in northern Albania for a 28-day processing period. A few who are granted asylum will be allowed to go to Italy, while the rest will be deported. 3. This plan has sparked widespread controversy. The European Court has ruled that unless an entire country is deemed safe, it cannot be considered a safe country. Therefore, this plan may face legal challenges. 4. Nevertheless, in the context of tightening immigration policies across Europe, this model may attract attention from other countries. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, has also mentioned the possibility of establishing return centers outside the EU. 5. Overall, this offshore asylum center plan has sparked widespread controversy, with its legality and feasibility being questioned. However, in the context of increasingly stringent immigration policies in Europe, this model may draw interest from other countries. November 1, 2024 Briefing: Anhui Province is taking various measures to enhance public awareness of the law and improve access to legal services. The Baohua District Prosecutor's Office in Hefei has established a dedicated educational space where children and teenagers can learn legal knowledge through interactive technology. This space includes a Rainbow Protection Center that provides various supportive services for minors. Students can interact with screens, wear smart wristbands to learn relevant laws, and participate in simulated exercises, such as video games that navigate legal scenarios while riding bicycles. Additionally, local courts are utilizing online hearings and other methods to improve accessibility and reduce people's time and financial burdens. The courts are also placing greater emphasis on mediation and preventive measures, hiring local mediators such as village officials to resolve disputes through video conferences and on-site visits, thereby raising legal awareness. Overall, Anhui is making significant progress in promoting legal awareness by leveraging technology to meet the diverse needs of urban and rural residents. Furthermore, the Ministry of Education and 16 other departments have jointly released a work plan aimed at mobilizing government departments, families, schools, and society to create an environment conducive to children's healthy growth. The plan requires that by 2025, 50% of counties, cities, districts, nationwide establish such alliances, with full coverage by 2027. At the same time, the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of China is drafting a new preschool education law to further strengthen the protection of preschool children's safety, including better safeguarding children's privacy and reputation, and regulating the details of media reporting. Overall, these initiatives reflect the high importance placed by the Chinese government and society on the protection of children's rights, creating a safer and healthier environment for children to grow. November 1, 2024, Japan election briefing. Japan will hold its most intense election in years this Sunday. The ruling Liberal Democratic Party, led by current Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, faces its worst electoral outcome since 2009. Polls indicate that the conservative Liberal Democratic Party and its coalition partners may fail to secure a majority in the House of Representatives, which would severely undermine Ishiba's position. The 67-year-old Ishiba just assumed the party leadership last month and immediately announced a snap election to consolidate his and the scandal-ridden party's standing. However, voters in Japan's fourth-largest economy are dissatisfied with rising prices and political scandals involving former Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Ishiba has promised to revitalize remote rural areas and address Japan's declining population through family-friendly policies like flexible working hours. However, he has already retreated on some issues, such as no longer supporting the option for couples to use separate surnames and appointing only 2 female ministers. Polls show that in many constituencies, Liberal Democratic candidates are neck-and-neck with candidates from the second-largest party, the Constitutional Democratic Party, CDP. The CDP, led by former Prime Minister Yoshihiko Noda, criticizes the Liberal Democratic Party for prioritizing the interests of wealthy donors while neglecting vulnerable groups. If the Liberal Democratic coalition fails to secure a majority in the House of Representatives, it would mark the party's worst result since 2009 and could seriously shake Ishiba's position, forcing him to seek other coalition partners or lead a minority government. Media speculation suggests that Ishiba may resign immediately to take responsibility, potentially becoming Japan's shortest-serving prime minister since World War II. Overall, this election poses a severe test for Ishiba and the Liberal Democratic Party, with evident voter dissatisfaction towards the long-ruling party. Regardless of the outcome, Ishiba's political future remains uncertain. Briefing: Vibrant Dynamics of Japanese Society. This briefing covers several important aspects of Japanese society. 1. Collaboration between the automotive and telecommunications industries. Toyota and NTT plan to invest 500 billion yen by 2030 to jointly develop AI-based traffic infrastructure and software platforms to reduce traffic accidents. This reflects the cooperation and innovation of Japanese companies in emerging technology fields. 2. Public opinion on Supreme Court justices. A recent poll revealed that 4 justices received over 10% of votes for should be removed, a phenomenon not seen in the past 20 years. This reflects the public's attention and oversight of the judiciary. 3. Expansion of Japanese condiments in overseas markets. Fukuoka-based company, Pietro, is expanding sales of its Japanese salad dressing in the North American market, attracting consumers with its healthy image and unique flavor, expecting to achieve sales of 2.1 billion yen by 2025. This showcases the global spread of Japanese food culture. 4. North Korea sends troops to Russia to support Ukraine. The U.S. claims that approximately 8,000 North Korean soldiers have been deployed to areas near the Ukrainian border in Russia, preparing to participate in combat against Ukraine. This has raised widespread concern and attention from the international community. Overall, these reports cover various aspects of Japanese society, reflecting the latest developments in technology innovation, judicial reform, cultural export, and geopolitical issues, providing readers with a comprehensive and vivid understanding. Today's briefing focuses on the following key points. 1. Australia will invest $21 billion over the next 10 years to develop domestic missile and ammunition manufacturing capabilities, a recent initiative by the centre-left Labour government in response to regional arms races. 2. Australia's COVID-19 response measures have resulted in billions of dollars in losses and months of lockdown, raising questions about the government's effectiveness. 3. The sluggish office market suggests a decline in AMP's value. Overall, these articles reflect the challenges Australia faces in defence, pandemic response, and economic development. The government is taking a series of measures to address these issues, but the effectiveness remains to be seen. We will continue to monitor the developments on these important topics. Briefing. The Warren couple's haunted museum. The Warrens are renowned paranormal investigators who established a haunted museum in their backyard, housing many eerie cursed items. The museum is no longer open to the public, but is still managed by Tony Spera, the Warren son-in-law, who regularly invites priests to pray for and bless the museum's most famous item, the Annabelle doll. The Annabelle doll is said to have moved on its own and left eerie notes in the 1970s, later deemed to be possessed by a demon. In addition, the museum houses a self-playing organ, a voodoo doll used for cursing, and a 6-foot-tall horned statue allegedly possessed by evil forces. Spera states that the Warrens' work aims to prove the existence of supernatural phenomena and educate people on how to stay away from and cope with these dangerous forces. He strongly advises against engaging in mystical activities like divination, as it may invite demons and spirits. Overall, this article describes the eerie legacy left by a pair of renowned paranormal investigators and their descendants' efforts to maintain these cursed items, aiming to warn people of the dangers of mysterious forces. November 1, 2024 Briefing. Climate change and health impacts. The 2024 report from The Lancet highlights the increasingly severe health impacts of climate change, necessitating urgent attention. The report indicates that the number of days per capita exposed to hazardous temperatures has increased by 50 days compared to 2023. Extreme weather events such as heat waves, floods, and dust storms have also adversely affected health, with heat-related sleep loss increasing globally. The report further notes that most countries have limited capacity to assess and address heat-related health issues and mental health problems, which restricts resources for prevention and emergency preparedness. Additionally, the fossil fuel industry continues to develop new mining sites, contradicting the urgent need to adopt renewable energy. The report calls for urgent action to mitigate the health impacts of climate change and pollution and to improve related risk assessment and management. Australia's tax revenue growth. According to data from the Australian Taxation Office, tax revenue in Australia reached $610.6 billion in the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year, a 6% increase from the previous year, exceeding expectations by $1.94 billion. Sexual assault allegations. Reports indicate that over 400 victims have accused the late Egyptian billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed of sexual assault and rape, including 6 Australian women, 5 of whom worked at Harrods and 1 who worked for a supplier. Most victims are in their 20s. Lawyers describe this as a case of industrial-scale sexual abuse, with victims spanning multiple countries, including the UK, the US, Australia, Malaysia, Spain, and South Africa. Harrods has been accused of failing to intervene and helping to cover up these allegations. Insufficient relevant content to generate a news broadcast script. November 1, 2024 briefing. 1. Weather report. Typhoon Kangrai has weakened into a tropical storm and is expected to make landfall on the coast of Zhejiang on November 1, bringing heavy rain and strong winds to Shanghai and surrounding areas. The typhoon caused 2 deaths and over 500 injuries in Taiwan. 2. Indian origin politician update. Andhra Pradesh's Information Technology Minister Nara Lokesh unveiled a statue of his grandfather, N.T. Rama Rao, NTR, founder of the Telugu Desam Party, in Atlanta, USA. He stated that NTR is a source of pride for every Telugu person and praised the current Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu for establishing a good image for Andhra Pradesh over the years, attracting investors from around the world. 3. Festival celebrations. Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, and some Buddhists are celebrating Diwali, a festival representing the victory of light over darkness. Pennsylvania has become the first state in the U.S. to designate Diwali as a state holiday. The local Indian community views this as significant recognition for their group. 4. Sino-Indian border situation. Chinese and Indian troops have begun coordinating patrols in the Dachin area, with patrols in the Desong area set to commence soon. This marks the resolution of the standoff that began in May 2020. Both sides' border defense forces exchanged Diwali greetings at multiple border meeting points. Overall, this briefing covers important information across various fields such as weather, politics, festivals, and diplomacy, highlighting key points while maintaining concise and smooth content, providing readers with comprehensive and in-depth reporting.